Morning. So I'm not that great at being gloaty, and honestly, in my life, I feel like that's been the bane of my existence. Like, we live in a society right now where I have to go out and scream about how great I am, or it's like nobody will ever notice, and I won't be able to get ahead. You know, I wonder what would happen if we had a entire population of screamers. Now, I'm going to hit this environment a little bit different, and I know that, and that's on purpose. And I know it's a little different, and it's because a lot of people like me don't win. Actually, I think the people that are polarized all the way on my side, I don't know if a lot of them make it to this age with all their cognition in check. I think there's a ton of little me's in AA. I think there's a ton of little me's that are unfortunately on the street. And let me tell you, there were several points on this journey that I will point out where I was almost right there with them. Seems like there was a whole bunch of hands on buttons just waiting for me to make one exact tiny step out of the location so they could put me directly into the box that they've wanted to put me in. I don't know what, since birth. Anyways, I'm not very good at being gloaty, but I did a thing. And it's actually already done. So the report that I wrote, I sent it to 7,777 random email addresses scraped off the internet. Well, I guess they weren't all random. Went to a lot of governments, a lot of authority figures, a lot of police stations all over the world, everywhere. It went to schools. It went to every domestic abuse agency I can find. A lot of them pop back from like info pages, and I didn't even count them all. In addition to that, I sent it to some random people. Like I sent it to a Lululemon executive. I also sent it to some Sunwing people. Just literally random people. And if you're sitting back and you're like, God, I feel like I should reach out to her and express how much I didn't want this personal information about her life, let me just say right now, I don't care. Everybody, every single human being on this planet is impacted by this problem. Every single malicious human being on the planet is born in a home with a mother, and a mother is born. We seem to be adding a lot of police at the end of life problems, right? Without realizing that we could have stopped it in 7 different locations along the way. And that's where domestic abuse comes into play. Every bully is taught to be a bully. Every person in a workplace scenario is probably also hurting their wife. I would be amazed to find any malicious component of society that is not tied to domestic abuse, because it all is. We tackle this beast, we tackle the whole beast. Yeah. Thinking, hey, Ash, I wonder why your accounts aren't blowing up yet if you sent this report to 7,000 people. It turns out the QR code on the report and in my email signature got maxed out some time ago and doesn't work. I know. I'm not upset about it. Honestly, I know that everything happens for a purpose. I know this firsthand. So this is not a mistake. I'm just being given more time. Which may actually be great, because then it'll be like a fun mystery for people. Like, where is she? And let me just say, we all need to have a lot more fun. Like, You know, at my level of weirdness, I always was hoping I would get a special skill. Like some people at my level of weirdness have special skills. And it's like I always had one, but I didn't even know what it was until I was older. And let me tell you, the 10 videos or whatever, how many, I haven't even looked out the index yet, how many videos I'm going to put together to explain the data in the report is an excellent example of exactly what that power can do. Anyways, I'm really good at correlating huge amounts of data in my head. My brain does it naturally. It looks laterally across subjects. There are no lines in my head. So usually when I come across data, I relate it to a whole bunch of different things. It's incredibly holistic, as in I do not see boxes. And what I realized is a lot of people that misinterpret me or I have a difficult time communicating with are usually polarized on the other side. They only think in boxes. Anyways, let's put this one on the chart because I think it's worthwhile. And again, this is a build a beast. This one we're going to be building. Anyways, during my road show, whatever the heck we're going to call this for humanity, I'm going to talk laterally about a whole bunch of different subjects, and you will understand it comes out in the way that I speak. Understand that everything I'm talking about is one story. It is all connected. And just another point there, when you look at manipulative folks, understand it exists in both sexes. Actually, I think it switches sides. If you look at the family tree, it's like the parent always treasures usually the opposite sex child, mama's boy, daddy's girl. So I think that if you look at your family generational line, the toxicity actually zigzags in a lot of the circumstances. And understand this, I'm kind of starting you guys off at the end of the story. The report and metrics within the court system is a solution. It's part of the solution to the problem. But I sent it out at the beginning of this project for a couple different reasons. One, I'm not sitting on this. I won't even sit on it long enough to write a book or for me to financially benefit off of it. People need this right now. It can save lives. So I'd rather do that than get the money. Also, number two, I have a lot of really petty human beings in my life that are trying to hurt me right now. The distribution of that report means that it's gone so broad that the petty people are just basically forced to not care anymore. So it's in part for my security, and the information can't die now. Ooh, I have a love affair with data. Seems in my life people really like to prove me wrong. I think what it really is that people don't like me, and then because I'm really kind, they have a hard time doing it directly to my face. So they find a way to either trump me, get on top of me, make my ideas seem like they're stupid, or talk behind my back. Data has been a reliable partner throughout my life to ensure that all the, I guess, misconstrued voices around the table, like it's basically been my voice. It's been my voice when I haven't been believed. In a world full of projection, when I can't trust my viewpoint and my partner's viewpoint is also skewed, data is the only source of truth. And it is that plain truth, reliable truth. Honestly, the data cleaning was like the biggest part of this project. I had saved everything stupidly in PDF pictures, and that wasn't my fault. Not entirely. I moved everything over when my accounts got compromised, and that was at the beginning of the process. So I put everything into secure folders and pictures. But what ended up at the end of the day, it was like the data set had to be OCR'd and the text sucked. I ended up having to go through it manually, line by line, to make sure that it's accurate. I am an accuracy nut, and it's not because of me. I'm not detail oriented at all. I worked for 20 years in a place where they basically whipped me into making sure that everything's accurate. So I had no idea how long it was going to take. I know that I was supposed to do this for a long time. I had no idea how long it was going to take. It took a lot longer than I thought, but it was sort of one of those things that it was going to be done when it was going to be done. So happy it's done. Yeah. I haven't even celebrated yet. Anyways, the parameters changed too. Like at first I was keeping all the communications that went through other people. I ended up taking those out. I ended up actually getting help to put in all the timestamps from the communications to try and signify escalation. And you could do this, which I think will be powerful in the future, but it was outside the parameters of the report. Once you read the report, you're like, oh, that's enough. That's good. You're good for now. And I should be good for now for a while. Anyways, in the end, it was 150,000 words from 17 months. 150,000 words, all manually categorized. I'm really tired. I'm really tired. Now, you may ask, could I have put it into an AI program and pulled out this data through something like a chat GPT? And I think, yes, 100% I could have. But if you read this report, understand that the individual data is not what's worthwhile. It's the structure. And the structure didn't even come up for me immediately. The structure took a while to sort of appear in my head. And this has happened with data and me before. Once you work in it for like a really long time, it's like the structure just clicks at some point and you're like, oh, right? This one was like a really big click. It was like bing. And then I looked at it and I was like, it works. It works. It's comprehensive, which means that it pulls out all the abusive commentary, the three buckets, the trifecta, and the fact that it's simple. It's simple and comprehensive. It's very, very, very powerful. This trifecta. And when I found it, it's like my brain, I got a Kundalini goosebumps all the way up to my head. Anyways, that wasn't the only thing I got out of the data. And I know I've said people like me a couple times, and I don't mean to be a separatist when I say that, but the data didn't only give me that. When I went into the data, I went in looking for data about my partner, but spending 8 months in it didn't only teach me things about them, it taught me a whole bunch about me. It didn't only reaffirm how much he had wronged me, it reaffirmed how much I was right, how much I always made the right decision, how much I was being blamed needlessly. And going through that for 8 months made me understand how much I had been gaslit in my life to take needless blame that I was never supposed to take. Made me understand how many demeaning comments have come out of basically everybody in my environment. And I'm like, oh. And I understand that if I hadn't killed myself working, if I had stayed in Courtland with, that anarchy, I would not be the person that I am right now. And then the story just all clicked into place. And I was like, oh, this has happened before. A lot.